Hey loves, welcome to today's Q&A video. I know when I am cleaning or organizing or decluttering or just doing the homemaking things around the house, I love being able to put on videos where I can just sit and listen, or not sit, but listen to them while I'm doing things and not necessarily have to be watching the screen. So I hope that you enjoy today's video. To sort of break up some of the cleaning, homemaking, day in the life that I normally do on my channel. I did ask, you guys had a ton of questions, so I'm really excited to dive in. We might actually do two parts to this video, I'm not sure. We'll see at the end, we'll see how far we get and if I need to make this a two-parter. But the first question is from subscriber Martha Weebe. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Sorry, Martha. It's either Weebe or Weeb. Do you have any of your childhood toys or teddy bears? So I do. So my dollhouse that Papa made for me is still at Gigi and Papa's house. Presley plays with it now when she goes over there. That's probably like my most cherished childhood toy. And I know at my mom's house too, she still has a ton of my books from when I was little. I feel like books are almost like, they matter to me more than the toys, quite honestly, because I just have so many emotions or like learning experiences that I got from my books. Tehani Rees asked, what is the first thing you notice about people? I think how people smell. And I know that's probably so funny, but it's been one of those things I think since almost even high school. Like I used to say to my friends, like when you get in someone's car and you can like smell how they smell, I always notice that. Like I have different associations with how it smells getting in different people's cars. So how they smell. And probably if they're smiling, like if somebody's smiling, I feel like you notice that right off the bat if they're like seem like they have like a personable or like outgoing energy to them. The Exhausted Flamingo, sorry you're exhausted. Favorite fast food chain, what are your comfort foods, diamonds or pearls? Sorry, there's three questions in that. So favorite fast food chain, Taco Bell, but I'm really missing Chick-fil-A. Like Chick-fil-A is a close second because there isn't a Chick-fil-A here. So at least not yet, supposedly they might be getting one. But I will definitely be eating lots of Chick-fil-A when I'm home in Ohio this summer. Landon's so excited too. That's what he asked for his birthday, was Chick-fil-A gift cards so he could use them when we were home this summer. What are your comfort foods? Probably like my #1 comfort food is my grandma's mashed potatoes and my mom's city chicken. It's so good. And that's usually like what the city chicken, it's made with like city chicken and gravy and mashed potatoes and biscuits and oh, so good. So, they're just so yummy. Diamonds or pearls? I am a diamond girl. Yeah. Rose gold girl, most of all. If you've been following for a long time, you might remember that I used to have eyelash extensions. I got them from the time I was pregnant with Landon until 2020. And once I got them off, my lashes were so short and so damaged. So if you're in the same boat, you definitely should check out Roderm, and thank you to Roderm for sponsoring today's video. So Roderm offers access to a clinically proven eyelash growth serum that makes your eyelashes longer, thicker, and darker. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely check out Roderm. If treatment is right for you, you get it prescribed right online. There's no need to go in for an in-person appointment, and you always have the option to message the provider with any of your questions. In a 16-week clinical trial, eyelashes grew 25% in length, 106% in fullness, and 18% in darkness. To get your prescription growth serum, all you have to do is have a free online visit and answer standard questions about your eye and medical history. Then a Roderm affiliated healthcare provider gets back to you within 48 hours, and if your prescription is approved, you will get your eyelash growth serum delivered to your door with free 2-day shipping. Treatment with Roderm is convenient because Roderm allows you to be evaluated, diagnosed, and receive treatment all within the comfort of your own home. The initial online visit and all follow-ups are free, and there is always free 2-day shipping. Right now, if prescribed, new members will receive 10% off of your eyelash growth serum from Roderm if you go to roderm.com/Brianna. Again, shipping is free, and you'll get free and unlimited follow-ups with your healthcare provider to support you on your eyelash growth journey. Again, that is roderm.com/Brianna. I will also have this linked in my description box for you as well. Miss Red Wine. Ooh, I like that name. Is there anything that you have wanted to do or bring into your videos that you haven't had the courage to do? If so, what would it be? That's interesting, like that I haven't had the courage to do. I think there's just some things that I have just set boundaries on that I don't want shared about our family or the kids. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's lacking courage, but just things that if, you know, I could be an open book, but I'm, I guess, choosing like not to be an open book. I would love to just travel more though. I don't know if that's necessarily like courage, but being able to travel more. I would love to do more travel stuff on my channel because I feel like that's the side of me that like I like that side of me the most, of when I'm being adventurous and exploring new things. So, and I do think that like that takes a little bit of courage to like travel to places you've never been before and like explore and try new things and like not be afraid of, you know, potentially embarrassing yourself. I always try to watch videos on YouTube too. I love the ones where it's like the culture of the places or like things that you would be considered very rude if you did. Like I remember before Germany, there was like a lot of things I was like, oh, I didn't realize like that was going to be rude. Or like, for example, in Germany, it's like you are to be quiet. So like if children are making a lot of noise or you're making a lot of like noise or talking loudly on like public transportation, it's really frowned upon. I don't know any German viewers, maybe you could comment on that, but that, at least that was in one of the videos I watched, that it was like, it is important for people to like stay quiet on public transit. Or it's considered like you're very rude. So that's just different than here. I feel like on a lot of buses and stuff, like people make conversation or like, I don't know. So I'm getting away from it, but I would just, yeah, I would love to travel more in upcoming videos if that's at all possible. Kristen N said, what is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you while in Hawaii? And sorry, I have my laptop here with like all the questions on it. That's what I'm looking at. So just, this is the most recent one. I shared this in my last video too. I was riding my bike home and I crashed into a pole and like my fingers, honestly, like they're still a little bit bruised and like tender when I bend them. So yeah, it's really embarrassing. And I think you guys saw too, like I shared a video of like I fell down the stairs here the one day. Clearly Grace is my middle name. Very klutzy. Next question is from Vegas Date Nights. Okay. What is the best advice you could give to a new YouTube channel creator? P.S. Your videos always inspire and you're an amazing mom. Oh, thank you. You guys, honestly, all of these questions were so fun and like had a bit of encouragement, I feel like, within a lot of them. Some of them too, by the way, just like I copied them into a document on here so I could see them quickly going through this. So I didn't get to always like copy like the nice comments that you left along with them, but just I just want you to know like I read them and I appreciate them so much. But best advice for a new content creator is you have to be committed and consistent. I think you're always going to feel in a way like you're failing unless you can commit and keep up that consistency with your videos. Any person I've talked to whose channel has grown, they say like I was grinding for usually at minimum it's a year, if not like 2 to 3 years of like committing to having videos out consistently, like usually more than once a week. It's usually that people were doing like 3 videos a week and then sort of pulled back, or a lot of family vloggers who like initially started were doing 5 to 7 days a week of videos for a couple years, and like now they've pulled back to maybe do 1 to 3 videos a week. But I would just say committing to do this and being consistent, it's just amazing to kind of see where YouTube has taken people, including myself, when we like look back and are like, wow, like what has happened over the last 5 years is just so cool. Mike Postulart Veer, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Since you share so many recipes with us, what is your favorite dish of all time and your favorite drink? Favorite dish of all time, I mentioned earlier, is my mom's city chicken. That's just my favorite. If I go out to a restaurant though, I love really good queso and steak fajitas. Like that's my restaurant favorite meal of all time. And favorite drink, if I go out to a restaurant and I'm getting a cocktail, it's a spicy margarita, like as spicy as it can be. And, or if you guys saw that reel I shared on Mother's Day where the mom was drinking a spicy margarita and she's like, this is a green juice. My green juice. But you guys also know Apothic Red is my favorite at-home drink. So, Kayla Henderson asked, do you regret moving to Hawaii? Absolutely not. It's probably one of the best things I've ever done for our family and just for myself at the same time. So no regrets whatsoever. Chloe Dante, there's a lot. She has 9 questions here. Whose mind do you wish you could read? At this point in time, Hayden's, because he babbles a lot and he says a couple of words, but I always want to know what he's thinking because he'll stare at things so intently. I would love to know what's going on in his little brain, just what he thinks about all of us, because he's funny. he's very funny. To what period of history fascinates you the most? Ooh. I was always very drawn to learning about ancient Egypt. Like, Egypt is on my bucket list of places to go. Landon always says that too. Like, he wants to see the pyramids so bad. So I think ancient Egypt is very fascinating to me. I would also say like ancient Rome and ancient Greece. I feel so lucky I've been able to go to Rome and been able to go to Athens and see like a lot of the ancient ruins, and there's just something that I'm drawn to. In like, I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's just so fascinating how the buildings were actually constructed. There's like something just so awe-inspiring when you're actually standing in front of them and just thinking about what life was like then when they had started to just make so many gains for civilization, and then thinking about how it kind of had this downfall. I don't know, I'm fascinated, I feel like, by those periods in history. What are you nostalgic about? Just my family as a kid, like in going to Disney as a young child. I am so grateful that my dad took so many videos, but I feel like those are just the best memories of my life that I have so much nostalgia around, and why I'm still such a Disney freak and fan. And yeah, just my family growing up. What made you laugh out loud today? Our Disney girls trip coming up. There was a couple of things in the group chat that I was laughing out loud, and even Adam was like, what are you laughing about? But yeah, it was cracking me up. It was one of the real ideas. So make sure you're following all of us on Instagram for the trip, because the one reel that Paula came, like, I was laughing so hard at her idea. She's the best at reels. What wallpaper do you have on your phone? Let's see, my babies. Right after Hey was born. What is the last gift you gave to someone? Last gift I think that I truly gave to somebody was probably Landon's birthday gifts. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Landon's birthday gifts, so for his birthday. What scent makes you the happiest? Vanilla Bean Noel. And I've said this before, I need to look up where I can buy Britney Spears Fantasy. I'm not sure if they sell it in department stores anymore. Like, honestly, haven't been to like perfume counters in department stores like in years. Simply because of Landon's allergy when he was younger. He was just like so sensitive to everything. I stopped wearing perfume at that point, but I think he's grown out of nearly everything. The things we're still avoiding for him are nuts and citrus fruits seem to like really set him off. Raw eggs is another one that I avoid. If it's baked into things, he seems to be fine. Like if it's one or a couple eggs baked into a cake or something like that, he seems to be fine. But actual like eggs alone don't seem to work well for him. But that's why I kind of stopped wearing perfumes. But I would like to find a bottle of Britney Spears Fantasy. That's what I wore. Gosh, it might have been since middle school. Definitely high school I wore it, definitely college. What TV show always makes you laugh? Friends always makes me laugh. Office made me laugh when Adam had me watch that with him. Veep also makes me laugh really hard. Schitt's Creek, I laugh really hard during that one too. I love watching, honestly, I love watching comedy stuff. It's not that I don't enjoy like the murder mysteries. I think they're interesting and like to talk about them with people, but they give me such bad nightmares. So I prefer watching things like comedies that make me laugh and happy before bed, because then I have so much better dreams. So much better. Christy Mullins asked, if you could take one moment in time and go back to it anytime you wanted, what would that moment be and why? Disney World with my family when I was a kid. One of the trips for Gigi and Papa were there with us too, which was nearly every trip, but one of those trips I just would want to go back to and relive. Ashy Glam asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's a great question, because 5 years ago, I would have still been pregnant with Presley. She was overdue at this point, the time I'm filming this. She was due May 7th and due on May 12th, or excuse me, she was due on May 7th and I had her on May 20th. So I was 5 years ago very impatiently waiting for her to arrive. Some of you saw me like waddling around the mall, because that's what I was doing, is I would go to the mall and just walk around for my lunch break at the time to like try to get her to come out, anything. 5 years ago though, I would have never told you that I would have been here. So it's hard to say. I would love in 5 years to have done way more traveling. If in 5 years I've crossed off my travel bucket list and like my Disney bucket list, because there's some Disney, like I want to go to all of the Asian Disneys. I want to go on a Disney cruise, and then I'll have completed like my Disney passport, if you will. So those are like the things I really want to do, and just, yeah, go see, like Japan is on that list obviously because of Disney, but I want to go to Australia and Egypt. Those are like my other two big places that I'm like aching to go to right now, besides all of the other Disneys. So if in 5 years I've gone to those places, I'll probably be so excited. And I still love the idea, like my mom was asking me about this the other day, of like, do you ever think you'll build a home? And maybe in 5 years have had like a home build, because I just think that there's so many ideas I have, and I'm so inspired to do it that I would love to be able to make that happen. So that would be cool in 5 years. And crazy to think like Hayden will be 6, Landon will be 12, Presley will be 10. Oh my gosh. They'll like all be in school at that point. That's just gonna be so, like, that's crazy for me right now to like think about, wow, the kids are all going to be in school at a certain point. It's crazy. Juliana Jimenez said, how do you feel your channel has grown from the beginning to now? Do you watch your old videos? So my channel has definitely just evolved, I think, as I've evolved as a mom, because we all grow and change and have like different interests along the way. It started with the intent of showing my life as a working mom on YouTube, because I couldn't find any other working moms at that time when I started making my videos. And it's obviously evolved into now, like, I've built this business, and so my business now allows me, I'm still a working mom, and all moms are working moms, by the way. I kind of hate that term. I would say like a 9-to-5 mom is what I was looking for at that time. So I think it's evolved now into just how my life has changed. Like, we've moved and things are so different, and they're gonna keep changing. Like, and that's, I think, the other thing about like, oh, in 5 years, there's gonna be so many changes over the next 5 years, I'm sure, that I can't even really predict of like what this is all going to turn into. But I'm here for the ride and here to just enjoy it as much as I can and keep learning and growing and challenging myself. But do I watch old videos? The ones I watch are like the trips or some of the holidays, or occasionally I like to see like an older day in the life, just to be like, oh, what was it like back then? It's usually because the kids ask me and want to see those. I don't like watch my own videos myself. It's usually because the kids are like, oh, when we went to like Germany, the castle that we saw, and I'll be like, okay, here, I'll pull up the video so you can like watch that part when we were there. Like, similarly, they'll like ask me like, when I was Hayden's age, like what did I? And so I'll like go back and play one of those videos to kind of show them. Sarah Sarasek asks, have you received any other signs from your dad? I remember you talking about the psychic neighbor who was wearing the shirt with angel wings and your dad's favorite number on it. Your experience is just super fascinating. I know, that was so cool. And Trina's moved, but I'm so happy for her. She actually went on this trip, met someone, and married him like overseas within just like a couple of months. I was so happy for her when I saw it, because we follow each other on Instagram. I was so happy for her. But yeah, she has just like one of the most incredible gifts. And I feel like even just gave me such an incredible gift of like that reassurance that I think always like sat there feeling with my dad of like, is he okay? And like just kind of knowing too that he is still here. We hit maximum time. I think it cut me off on, it's reassuring to know that he still has a presence here in the ways that he can be. I've shared this before, but after he passed, there was a cardinal that just was like always popping up to our like backyard window in Ohio. And since we moved here, there is still cardinals that come visit, and one always sits as I'm doing the dishes on the railing right outside of the window and just like peeks in. on us, and the kids too. Whenever they see a cardinal, are like, there's Poppy, hi Poppy, and they'll talk to him. Landon always gets so happy too if one lands, like when he's playing baseball, because my dad loves sports. Baseball was his favorite though, so when a cardinal comes to his baseball games, Landon is just like so happy, and I feel like I just know, like that's him giving us his little sign. He's still with us. H, just H. Do you think you'll continue to do YouTube when your kids move out to college? Who knows? Again, I never thought I'd be doing this, so I don't know what the next 5-10 years are going to bring with YouTube or anything in life, so who knows. Author Annette Palmer. Ooh, do you have books, Annette? I want to know if like you've written things that I can read. If you could go back and change any historic event, what would it be? How would you change or alter it, and why? Hope you're well. That is such a big question, and I feel like would be such a good movie or such a good book, right? Going back and like changing something in history. That's so hard, because I feel like I remember watching Butterfly Effect when we were kids. Do you remember that movie? Where it's Ashton Kutcher's in it, and he realizes if he goes back in time and changes things, how negatively it could impact the future, even if like you're trying to change something for the better, how much it can like then damage the future, the ripple effect. So it's hard, because you think about it all the time, and it's like I would never want to change something if it meant that I wouldn't have my 3 kids, right? But gosh, I feel like if I could change anything, like I just think of things like whether it's the Holocaust or gosh, even this pandemic, like we just hit, right? Like the 1 million mark in the United States, and it's just so tragic. Like I feel like if there was like anything that could be done to try to save more lives, you'd want to try to change it. But yeah, it's hard because I'm like, I don't want to play God, right? Like I'm gonna trust that like you know what's going on. But yeah, I feel like that's what I would like be inclined to say I would change. Allison Smith, what are your favorite Disney hacks, little tips and tricks for the parks? Oh gosh, I have so many Disney hacks. I think the first one is, if you want a good picture in front of the castle, is don't stand in front of the castle. On each side of the castle, there will be these flower beds, where it's so much better if you stand in front of those flower beds, because you still have the castle will be in like beautiful view, but you won't have the cluster of all the other crowds of people who are trying to take their picture directly in front of the castle. And it usually just ends up being a prettier image anyways, where it's like your family and the castle will be just like slightly to the side of you, which is to me what you want anyways. That's like a little pet peeve of mine when we do travel and take a family picture, and you're like, oh, can you take a picture of us like in front of this like special building or this like special landmark, and somebody basically takes it the angle where it's like just your family and like cuts off half the like landmark or half of the like castle or something like that. So I always like to be like a little off to the side of things anyway, so it's still like our family, but then the like you can see where we're at sort of a thing. So that's, I'd say, the number one. Number two, especially with the new Genie Plus system, this was like major when we were at Disneyland in February. Bring battery packs. You are on your phone so much more without even wanting to be, to try to be picking like the next ride and see available times and mobile food ordering. So bringing one of those portable battery packs or like mobile chargers is so important. I know they sell the fuel rods like in the airport, and they have them in the parks where you can just deposit the fuel rod and they'll pop out a new charged one for you. I haven't used those. I have one that I got on Amazon that's, I forget how many hours it actually like does charge. I think you can charge my phone up to 3 times is what it says. So I just make sure like every night that the battery pack is charged, and I have the little wire to plug it in, and I just keep it in the book bag then that I wear. So when we are on rides, I just plug it in like while we're riding and it's getting charged. So bring one of those. Also just ordering on Amazon any kind of food, snacks, waters, anything that you want to bring into the parks for during the day for eating or drinking. It just saves you so much money compared to what it costs in the parks for just like the basic kind of food and snacks. So I feel like those are my 3 big Disney hacks. But okay, we are, I feel like, at a good stopping point. There's a ton more questions that I didn't get to, so I think there will be a another Q&A where I try to answer more of the questions. Like, I was really trying to answer all of the questions that I could for you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and have that bell notifications turned on so you never miss when I post a video. And just thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you had this on while you were cleaning or driving or doing all the mom things and homemaking things, that this video was fun for you to listen to. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Have an amazing day.